Folks, this is Jason Van Tatenhove with Oath Keepers Media. I have on the line Paul Richie from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Now, Paul has been an active part of the rescue efforts happening there with the flooding. Thanks for joining us, Paul.
Not a problem. Thanks for having me.
Sure. Can you tell us a little bit about how the flooding has impacted your area and what led you guys to kind of take things into your own hands there?
Well, the floodwaters have never been this bad before. We got flooded back in March, and it wasn't nearly this bad. The waters rose so quick, and it was really neighbor helping neighbor, and just how everybody's quick response. Everybody that had lifted trucks, boats, canoes. I saw people on horseback towing a boat to go, get people out of their houses if it wasn't too deep for the horses. So it was just everything you could think of people were using. And they said the water crested at a little over 46 feet here in Denham Springs. And in Denham Springs, last I heard, it was 100% of the businesses that were affected, which means they got floodwater in them. And we had about 80% of Denham Springs residence-wise was affected, and 86% of the parish was affected by flooding.
Wow.
And it's been crazy. Just a couple weeks ago with all the tension that we had in Baton Rouge over the shooting of Alton Sterling, how divided everything was. People were colorblind, when it came to rescues. It didn't matter who they were saving. People were going on boats into subdivisions where they might have had one or two friends that lived there, but they were going just to see if anybody else needed to get out.
Wow. So the flooding, is it down now? Is there what sort of what's the situation right now?
Right now, all the floodwater has receded. We've been in cleanup process, which that is, that's been an experience for me. It's a lot of ripping out drywall, flooring, and you got to spray they got some chemical that kills the mold. It's like bleach on steroids. And there's still a lot of people that need help because, 80%, 86% of our parish was affected. So you have people right now that are trying to do their home and helping out other people, plus working.
Now, I've heard reports that the state there and the counties, some of them are trying to get permits for people to fix their houses when pretty much everyone's been affected.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about that.
In order to start rebuilding your home down here, what they want you to do is once you rip out all your drywall, you have to get a certified electrician. If you've had more than 18 inches of water in your home, which is the vast majority of them, because a lot of homes here took 4 foot plus of water.
Wow.
So if you have over 18 inches, you have to go get a certified electrician to certify, everything's still good. And then you have to go to the city to get a rebuilding permit, I think is what they're calling it.
Do you have any idea what that's going to cost?
I'm not too sure.
I'm assuming that people are not in the best financial condition after all of this, that a lot of them are literally losing everything. And now, what has the response been in the community to these licensing requirements?
Everybody's just kind of sucking it up, I guess. I think licensing is just kind of the last thing on everybody's mind, just because we're still in the tear down phase. You know, you got people that are still ripping their drywall out, and, you know, down here business wise, you know, people are still trying to work, and you have 100% of the businesses that was in Denham Springs got floodwater in them. And so people are losing money because of work, because, you know, a lot of the businesses didn't have flood insurance. I know the company that I work for didn't have flood insurance. And FEMA doesn't do anything for business. They say, go get an SBA loan. And a lot of people don't really want to get a loan, you know, to get put back in debt to rebuild, I guess.
Tell us what the government reaction was. Was there any support given? I mean, obviously there wasn't enough that you guys decided to wait a second. There are lives in danger here and sprung into action as good Samaritans. Was the government any help at all?
We had on ground, you have police department, sheriff departments. We also had the National Guard come in and the Coast Guard. And the Cajun Navy, in all the rescue efforts of the Cajun Navy, outperformed all government agencies combined.
Wow. Now, can you kind of explain for people who may not be familiar? I'm sure most people are, but explain what the Cajun Navy is exactly.
The Cajun Navy is pretty much everybody with boats, lifted trucks, you know, that just went out and did what they felt was right.
And it just had a huge impact. I mean, there were a lot of lives saved.
It did. And, you know, in a tragedy like this flooding, you know, we had, I think last I heard was 16 people lost their lives of it, which is still sad. But the numbers of that could have been way, way higher if people would have sat around and, you know, waited for National Guard or Coast Guard or whoever to come rescue them. You know, I know people in our church that lost their homes, and that very day they lost their home, the wife would be at the church helping cook dinner for the other flood victims, and the husbands and sons were out on boats doing water rescues.
Wow, that's really that's just awesome coming together community.
You know, we had a guy at our shelter who was from Colorado originally, and the best statement I ever heard from him was, "You guys down here in Louisiana don't wait for the help, because you are the help."
Well, Paul,
and you know that just struck me pretty good.
Absolutely, I definitely want to just heartfelt thank you for everything you guys have done, and just it's an inspiration to all of us across the country that we need to be the first responders. We can't just wait, sit back, and do nothing when there are emergencies that are affecting our whole communities. That we just need to go do what's right, and you guys have just totally done that, and just, man, it's awesome. So if people want to help still, what are the best ways for people to help with relief in your area?
They could get in contact with the Cajun Army. They're on Facebook. There's so many different church groups that are down here, whether it's Samaritan's Purse, Southern Baptist Association. There's so many of them. I can't even begin to name everything. And of course you have your government agencies, Red Cross, all of them too.
All right. And then for any Oath Keepers that may be listening and want to volunteer their time, there has been a call up for volunteers and help, financial support.
Yes, there has been a call out, and I've gotten calls from a group in Arizona that wants to start sending things. We got some Oath Keepers from North Carolina that have been down here working for the past couple weeks. And then I got a group coming from Illinois to come lend a hand for a while.
That's awesome. And if other people want to do that, they can get a hold of you. You are the Oath Keepers contact there in Baton Rouge. Is it all right if we give out your email?
It is. You can give out my email. It is paulritchie54@yahoo.com. And if they want to text or call, my number is area code 254-630-7548. And yes, it's a Texas phone number, but I live here in Louisiana, of course.
All right, Paul. Well, again, man, you're just an inspiration to us all, and really we've got to take your example and use it when these tragedies hit our local communities. We really need to just get up and move and do the right thing. Don't wait. Just get moving. So thanks again, Paul. We appreciate you taking the time out of your day to talk with us, and we'll check back in with you later.
Okay, thank you.